started here. First things first, we're starting off with that chest stretch. Gonna start with that tension piece of equipment. If we had it, again, I'm having a band, but you guys can utilize a blanket, a towel, a broomstick, anything that you can pretty much hold your arms apart like this and just wrap that around your head. And honestly, if that doesn't feel comfortable for you or you don't want to get that, if you have a wall next to you, you can also just turn into it, just doing a chest stretch like this. A couple things to keep in mind is that you can have your arm up a little bit, off to the side, down, and you can also try bending your elbow, trying to get that arm or that elbow into a 90-degree angle. It's just going to give you guys a different stretch. If you're doing it against the wall, I'd say hold it for 20, maybe at least 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and then go ahead and switch. We'll be here for a little bit of time, so this one's really on your own, switching whenever you feel that you need to, because we're all going to have different pieces of equipment that get us going. So any one piece of time isn't going to work best for everyone. So really, yeah, just take this one in. If you're on that wall, make sure you're switching between arms every, I'd say 30 to 45 seconds at max. And yeah, go ahead. While you're doing this, of course, guys, you're focusing on breathing. Breathing below the diaphragm, pretty much expanding that stomach, avoiding expanding at that chest. That's telling our nervous system we want to calm down, and that's good for our relaxation and our ability to stretch. So again, you're really trying to relax, deeper breaths. Just a bit longer here, guys. And right there, go ahead, set that piece of attention or tension equipment down. What we're going to do here next, guys, is we're just going to fold over at our at our hips, stretching our hamstrings. What that's going to look like here is first you're going to hinge at the hip. We've done this in pretty much all of our classes. Extend the spine there. Then we're getting a stretch of the hamstrings and the low back. And if you ever want to come up, guide your hands up your shin so your back is straight. Hinge, extension at the hip to come on up. But go ahead, guys. You're pretty much just down here. Feel free to touch your toes if you want to, or just cross your arms here. Again, crossing your arms might be beneficial if you can touch your toes or touch the floor. That way you're not being limited in your range of motion. And it's just allowing your body to really get into this passive stretch. Passive because we're utilizing gravity to take us through the range of motion. And again, this is one of those ones where you get to just hang out. So if you feel that you need to take a little bit of a break, what I want you guys doing is that hands on shins, extend the low back, and then extend forward through the hips. Take a little bit of a breather, grab a quick drink of water. When you're ready, you re-engage. And then from there, guys, go ahead, place your hands on your shins. Glide them up towards your knees. You extend the low back, extend through the hips. What you're going to do for me next, you're going to find yourself in this lunge position here. I'm going to do a quick little 3-phase, we've done before. Hip flexor, hamstring stretch. We're starting here. We drop it down to a Spider-Man. We drop it back into a hamstring stretch. First things first, you're just in this lunge position here. And we try to warm up the body doing this, just getting it a little bit more warmed up for some of these more deeper stretches as we go on. And from there, guys, go ahead, drop it down Spider-Man where this hip drives into the floor. And from there, go ahead, lean it back over that back heel. That front leg extends. Hamstring stretch right here. And go ahead, return off to center. Same thing. Normal lunge position, driving those hips forward. From there, take it on down to that Spider-Man. And drop it back to that hamstring. From there, go ahead, switch it for me, guys. Same thing, opposite leg. Starting here in this lunge position, neutral pelvis, upright torso. From there, you're going to go ahead, drop it down, Spider-Man stretch. And take it on back, hamstring stretch. And go ahead right there, guys. You're raising it on up. Normal lunge here. From there, go ahead and knock it down, Spider-Man. And tip it back, hamstring. And from there, guys, back to this first leg here. And we're going to stay in this position just a little bit longer. Again, lunge position, neutral hips, torso upright, and then start driving forward just slightly, feeling a little bit of tension. We're going to be here for a while, so it doesn't have to be too aggressive. If you're in this position for a while, you don't feel anything, a couple options you have. You can rotate into this front knee. If that one doesn't work, you can even try leaning into that front knee. And if that really doesn't get you, you might just have a pretty flexible hip flexors on this side. But if you need to try something else, there's always that option to slightly, and I mean slightly, lean back with your spine. And the reason we want to be so gentle there is because our hip flexors pass over our pelvis, and we want to avoid excess rubbing between them. We'll go ahead, play around with that. We'll be here for a while, so you can give each one about 4 seconds. And if you can't feel anything, you can try to move on over after 4, maybe to 8 seconds. And then from there, guys, I'm going to have you go ahead, switching on over, same thing, opposite side, same progressions there. As you try to find that sweet spot where you feel that tension, it's going to get you through the stretch. And right there, guys, we're going to take it on down to the ground here. Spreading our legs. We have a nice little V stretch. And from there, guys, go ahead, bring those heels together. Similar muscle or similar focus. But you're giving me a butterfly. You utilize those elbows to push down on the thighs if we need to. And go ahead, give me that V stretch again. See if we can't go deeper than where we started the previous rep. Not deeper than where we ended off, but where we started. Again, just showing that acute increase in flexibility if possible. If it's not there, that's okay. Sometimes that'll come with time, or even if you got really, really good at stretching, there's times where that might not happen, and that's all right. And from there, guys, we're going to go ahead, take it on down to the mat. We're going to pay attention to some glute areas, specifically focusing as well on this piriformis muscle. It tends to get tight in a lot of people who sit for most of their day. So what we do is we pick up one ankle, drop that ankle down on the opposite knee, and then we pull in that bottom knee right there, guys. And while we're doing that, we can roll out that far side ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. That just gets blood down to that area, which helps our heart because they'll have to work less to get that blood back up. And right there, guys, I'm going to have you go ahead, switch it on over. Same thing, opposite side. And right there, guys, go ahead, rest that down. What you're going to do next is find yourself in any comfortable position. You could be in this one, like I am, in a V stretch, sitting in a chair or standing up. We're going to stretch our neck forward directional, starting off by dipping that chin down to that chest, stretching the back of our neck. This 4-way neck stretch is a great thing to do anytime throughout the day, especially if you're tired, you need to regain focus. What it's doing is it's activating that musculature enough to increase blood flow to that area, which then makes its way up to the brain. You get some oxygen, needed oxygen, back up to the brain to help us refocus. From there, guys, go ahead and raise it up. Same thing, just opposite direction, tilting that chin to the ceiling, eyes to the sky, stretching the front of our necks. And go ahead, return to center. One ear, same side shoulder, stretching the side of our necks. Raise and on up, same thing, other side.